This Crestwood Coach Conversation brought to you by Wilson Custom Tree Service. We're with wrestling coach Keith Slifka, and from a result perspective, Coach, a pretty good start to the year. What's made you the most satisfied to this point?
Well, the number one thing is we're getting on the mat. Up until this point, and even at this point, day to day, we don't know what actually is going to bring us, but we're trying to make the best of the situation we have and trying to every opportunity we have to wrestle. Right now, we haven't wrestled a Saturday yet. That's kind of strange. I'm almost 54 years old. One thing I know is to wrestle on Saturday, and we haven't done it yet.
And you didn't get to go to the Independence tournament, and there's going to be other adjustments in the schedule as season goes by. Pretty much the only thing certain about this season is going to be uncertainty. Is there any way to prepare your guys for that?
Well, right now it's just open communication, trying to communicate the best we can, take every minute we can that we can be on the practice mat and take an opportunity for that. There's times in the season you give them a little bit break here and a break there, here and there. This season, if we have opportunity to practice, we're practicing. Even brought them in a couple mornings here and there. Sometimes, as a coach, this is a little different for me trying to figure this out. I have a set routine I've done for years, and we're out of that routine this year is how we're training and different things. And just trying to stay patient myself and having the kids staying patient, communicating to the parents because the parents want to support the kids and be there with a lot of restrictions with those things. But we're trying to make the best we can with those things. Open it up, trying to put things on radio, trying to put them on YouTube video things so parents are able to see that, grandparents, fans, and so forth. And we're still learning all that right now. It's still every day is a different day and trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to be hosting our first home duel will be tomorrow. So that'll be a test for us hosting there. So,
and I got to ask, can they teach an old dog like you new tricks?
Well, we'll find out at the end of the season. I guess that'll be the answer there. I'm learning just as much. It is a little struggle. I struggle a little bit with the technology. Thank goodness I have some younger coaches that are a little better with that than I am. Bless their hearts, Justin and Hunter Slifka and those two guys. Thank the world with those two. If I didn't have them, I'd have more gray hair than I do now.
But nonetheless, as for the guys in the room, what's pleased you the most to this point?
When we get in a room, those kids work. I can't be more pleased about that. The unfortunate thing is we weren't able to have our junior high season up till I think it's going to be able to start Friday. I think I heard, if I'm correct. But the benefit for us was we were able to use two rooms. And we kind of slowed things down for our younger kids that needed the technique and the less experienced kid, which was wonderful. And I could share my coaches doing that, where I could take my upper level kids and run the higher end practices in that room. And that's worked well. The trick was I needed to be in both rooms at times. So, I needed to bounce back and forth and then kind of turn it over to my assistants running some part of the practice or maybe even run a full practice. So, the good thing about that is the kids are seeing all of us coaches. It's not just me all the time, which I think is a positive for them. The bad thing is for me to try to be in both places at both times, but I think it's very beneficial both ways.
And you bring up that situation where some kids need more individualistic attention. Other kids need to just be in a situation where they can go. Is that just how you adapt to the cards you've been dealt this year?
Yes, it is. I'm really kind of uneasy a little bit because all the things we did all summer, we were unable to do as much as we've done, in the past. We have open rooms, we had weightlifting, kids go to camps, kids go to different high-level tournaments, low-level tournaments, do this, do that. Very little of that was able to be done because of COVID. So we're trying to make up lost time. But everybody has kind of the same same needs. Everybody's kind of same level playing field. Yeah, there's some kids that went out and did some things on their own, like normal, but there's some kids that didn't do nothing, and it's kind of like starting over from scratch. And that's where you have to kind of push a little bit harder sometimes here in the preseason here. We started off with teams that probably weren't ranked in the top 3 or 4, which is a good start for us. We have some very experienced kids, but we also have some kids that are pretty green right now. They're going to take a lot of learning, and hopefully by the end of the season, we see that improvement. And ultimately, that's always our goal. But trying to get those kids on the mat, that's been kind of the challenging part, because if you don't have a match that you think ahead of time, we don't take our kids to that mat because they're trying to limit the number of people in a space. So trying to jog that around and figure all that out and who can go and who's not, and then making sure you have a full lineup if you need to juggle your lineup a little bit. But right now at this point, the juggle lineup's pretty difficult to do.
And when you look at overall numbers, seemingly they're pretty healthy in your program. You agree?
Yeah, this is my 31st year of coaching, and one of my largest numbered kids on the team. We're filling all our weight classes right now. It may not be with the kids that are actually that right weights, but we're able to do that, which is a huge advantage across the board with most schools right now. That's difficult with fighting illness, injuries, just getting kids there and trying to keep kids motivated. So we're very fortunate in that part of it. This is our Team 100 we're celebrating here. 100 years ago, Crestwood had started their wrestling. So this is kind of a special year for us. Unfortunately, it happens to fall when we have a pandemic, but we're making the most of it. And we got a big celebration coming this summer. Kids are wearing a special singlet that each of the kids had purchased, and it's kind of neat. We're kind of building around that and hopefully set some goals around that. I'm excited about that. I know there's a lot of community members. There's a committee set up, and they're working towards those things. So kids are kind of thinking about that also, which I think kind of contributed to our numbers. And I think kids want to be part of that. There's a long tradition, Northeast Iowa, here in Cresco, Decorah, some of the other Northeast Iowa traditional schools have been there. And just carrying on that tradition. A lot of those kids as parents were part of the team at one point, maybe aunts and uncles, relatives, and now they're able to say they're part of that 100 years later. So that's kind of a little bit of a motivating factor for our goals and the kids to be on the team and to improve and to, have fun out there.
All right, Coach, here's to good health, most importantly for you and your kids this season. And here's to a successful season of cadet wrestling. We wish you best of luck.
I thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
This Crestwood Cadet Coach Conversation brought to you by Wilson Custom Tree Service.